down and distance and all that. But do you script things at all, or is everything pretty much a conversation and a decision on the spur of the moment?
We have a game plan for each situation, and there's not a set script. Like, we're not running these plays the first 15 plays of the game, but we have set script according to what the situation is. You know, what are our 1st and 10, 2nd and medium calls? What are our 3rd and shorts, 3rd and longs, 3rd and medium calls? What are our red zone calls? What are our coming out calls? What are our goal line calls? So we don't have a set script that we follow and go 1 to 15, but we've gone through, you know, really what the situations that are going to occur, and there's certain plays we're going to call in certain situations.
Jesse, and then I'm going back to the phone here one more time. Jesse?
Kind of going off of Ken's question there, going back to the competition at the center spot, what kind of created that separation there?
What created it? I think more of just the comfort level with Ronas, with everybody, you know, the coaching staff and the players and whatnot, and you know, just more than anything, the consistency that he's shown throughout spring ball and during camp.
Pasha, I'm going back to the phones one more time. Are there any more questions? Please press *1 on your telephone keypad if you have a question.
We do have a question from the line of Kate Woodson.
Hey, Coach. With the suspension of Jordan Jefferson, I'm curious if your preparation has altered at all preparing for Jared Lee. And from what you've seen on film, what are your impressions of Jared Lee?
Obviously, your preparation has to change slightly because they're a little bit different players. But as I said earlier, you know, LSU is not going to change their entire offense. You know, Jared's been in that offense since he's been there. I've been really impressed with him since, you know, he played as a redshirted freshman for him. You know, he's a son of a coach. Watch what he did at the end of the Tennessee game last year, the end of the Florida game last year. He's got a lot of experience. He's got a live arm. He can throw the ball. You can tell that he's got some real field intelligence out there in terms of running the show. So, you know, we know obviously Jordan was a tremendous football player, but I don't really think there's going to be a drop off at the quarterback play because I'm really impressed with what I've seen out of Jared so far.
So when you're playing a team first game of the season, and they've got a new offensive coordinator, you don't have to film them playing with him as the OC. Do you have to watch any film to see what they might integrate that he's done in the past from his prior college?
We have watched tape of where Coach Craig Thorpe was, but you know, Steve's not going to be calling the plays right now. Obviously, their offensive line coach has been kind of promoted to coordinator right now, but I think it's going to be a compilation of what Les has done. You know, it's still, as we always look at it, it's still Coach Miles' offense. You know, he's been an offensive guy everywhere he's been and been really successful everywhere he's been. So I still think it's going to be a lot of what LSU has done in the past. Obviously, when you add new coaches to your staff, you're going to bring in a few new wrinkles. So we have studied what Coach Craig Thorpe has done when he was at Louisville.
There are no further questions.
Okay, we're going to take a couple more questions here. I can't see who next was up. Go ahead.
Coach, in your assessment of LSU, is there any individuals on offense or defense that really stood out to you in looking at game tape?
Take your pen out because it's a long list. You know, Mingo, Montgomery, Ryan Baker. They got two of the best corners in Matthew and Claiborne. You know, offensively, their offensive line's outstanding. Spencer Ware is a really good athlete. That's 200. You know, to believe he's a 225-pound running back as a player. Ruben Randall's really one of the top receivers I've seen that we'll face. So you know, there's really not many holes, you know, from an athletic standpoint or just a football player standpoint in LSU's lineup. You know, it just seems like they've got a lot of them. They got a young freshman in Anthony Johnson that we've heard a lot about. We haven't seen him, but he was one of the top recruits in the country that came in early and is going to start as a true freshman for him. So Sam Montgomery's a kid that came off an ACL. Was hell on wheels until he got hurt, and he's supposed to be healthy. Mingo is as good a defensive lineman as we'll face, so you know they've got talent across the board. So.
Ron, real quick one first. Any new scholarships to walk-ons?
Haven't done anything.
Okay. And Jerry Rice, I understand, will be speaking to the team. How'd that work out?
I don't know.
Steven.
Chip, obviously you've probably been following it. Do you have any thoughts about how Les Miles has dealt with the off-field issues that LSU has gone through?
That was a no for anybody on the phone line. One more question. Is there any? take that to be no. Thank you.